What's happening, Fit Fam? Phil here, aka Stressful as usual. We back at it one more time, and today we are going to be talking. We're not going to go anywhere, no adventures, not at all. Everything we're going to do is going to happen right here. We're going to talk about something that has been lingering in my mind for quite some time, so I want to, actually get it out of my chest. All right, today I'm going to talk about the training method between a Natty and a person who's on gear, which means PED. PED stands for Performance Enhancing Drugs. Nothing wrong with that. And plus, come on, we are in 2022, so there's no shame to it. If somebody decide to take chemicals to enhance their performance, who am I to say it's not good? Absolutely not. They have to know for themselves. You are entitled to do whatever you want with your body. It is what it is, nothing wrong. Let's continue. Okay, so now the question is, can those two people train the same way and still get the same result? Yes and no. Okay, first let's talk about how the body functions, okay? And how do you actually do get muscles? That's very simple. I think all of us who are gym rats know that. You have to destroy the muscles first. You have to damage those muscle fibers in order for them to recover. So you damage them, go to the gym, you work really hard, push all the way you can, and then feed them, rest, and they'll recover, right? So simple. Both work the same way. So either you are Natty or on PED. Only the difference is that a Natty person needs more longer time, to recover, right? Whereas opposed to somebody who runs gear, they don't need much time to recover. They can literally recover within 2 days. They can train the same muscle group again. Let's say if they train chest today, which is Monday, and then tomorrow they can take a break, and then they can train them on Wednesday again. But when you are natural, it's absolutely a no-no. What you need to do is to make sure to give it a week. And what I'll suggest as a Natty myself, with quite some experience, because I'm trained a lot of people, a lot of guys around the globe, trust me. And what I've noticed that 5 days, 6 days you're good. 7 days is still a little bit of a longer stretch, but if you give it 5 or 6 days, it works perfectly. And also it depends how much you have damaged those muscles. If you haven't damaged them hard enough, obviously you don't need that much time. I think 4 days you'll be fine. When you have damaged them pretty well, like I do, for instance, it's necessary. It's very necessary for me, or for somebody else that work as hard as I do, to make sure to give it a good, amount of good, time period to recover. So which is 5 to 6 days. Another thing that I wanted to point out also is that there's lots of trainers who are on PED who do prescribe training method, or at least they sell training plans to people who are on Natty. I find it's not that it's not possible, absolutely it is, but I feel like they need to be more clear and explain the difference between somebody that is trying to be, planning on being Natty, because obviously when you start training, you're not going to think about PED, because obviously you have to let a Natty person know that they need longer time to rest, and the intensity of hitting the muscles, and plus the nutrition side of things that it needs to go through, because a Natty person need a better structured training plan and nutrition plan to make sure that it leads them to growth. If you're on PED selling a plan to somebody who's Natty, nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's good, but then it needs to be pointed out. Don't just make it for money, because I understand money is money, but if you give a good service, the person most likely will come back to you again. A Natty person has to put more emphasis on hitting the muscle good, whereas you challenge the muscle, not chasing PR, you're not damaging the muscle that way. It's more strength, but not creating that particular muscle fullness you're looking for. In order for you to create the muscle fullness, you need both combination between heavy and light. Whereas in comparison to a person who's on PED, they don't necessarily have to hit the heavy load. They absolutely don't. You see it all the time, right? Somebody can be, big, but then you see what they're lifting. You're like, hey, how is it possible you're lifting, that amount of weight. I think you should be able to do more. Why? Because somebody who's running gears, the muscle contraction is more important than lifting heavy. The muscle gets stimulated by a high amount of repetition and contraction. So basically, we're looking at lots of high reps, lots of burning. The more you burn the muscle, the more you get the results. That's when you are on PED. If you're natural, it doesn't work that way. You need to have a max amount of reps. If you go over a certain amount of reps, you're not gonna grow. You're only working for your stamina, muscle stamina. That's it. So yeah, there you have it. That's the only thing I wanted to share for today. I hope you go and apply it for yourself, especially if you are natty, because this video was more intended for the natty people. Okay, so go ahead and kill it. And again, if you did it, let me know. Put on the comment section. And if you have any question, also put it in there. I do make sure to answer anyone who has some questions. All right. And if you have any suggestion for me, which you want me to cover, you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comment section. I would definitely be willing to do so. Okay. If you're a first timer watching me, you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like this video, and of course, any questions or suggestion or whatever it may be, leave in the comment section. I'll see you next time on my next video. All right, fam. Easy work. Peace.